An emotional day for a local man who spent 8 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Today, he spoke out for the first time since being cleared of all charges. 10 News reporter Bob Lawrence with the two things that made it all possible.
2004, on a residential street like this one in Lemon Grove, events would be set into motion that would turn Uriah Courtney's life completely upside down. This is Uriah Courtney standing with his parents in the courtyard of Donovan State Prison last year. In 2004, a 16-year-old girl was grabbed off a Lemon Grove street and raped. Eyewitnesses identified Courtney as the one who did it. Justin Brooks with Cal Western Law School.
Eyewitness identification evidence is not that strong.
Nonetheless, Courtney was convicted of the assault as well as additional drug charges and looked at life behind bars at Donovan. But during the trial, the victim testified that her attacker had his face on her clothing.
And from that moment on, we all knew that there was going to be DNA on her clothing. We just had to get somebody to listen to us.
The ones who listened were students at Cal Western Law School as part of the Innocence Project.
Fortunately, the clothing from the victim still existed. And fortunately, we have the kind of DNA technology today that we haven't always had.
DNA testing was done initially, but it was the subsequent, more thorough testing on the victim's clothing that pointed to someone else who looked like Uriah.
They told me about the results of the DNA testing, and it was one of the best days of my life.
This is Courtney on the day he was released, but though he was out of prison, he wasn't exonerated yet of all the charges, until now.
I never thought I'd see this day.
Uriah's mother, Mary, said she wanted to yell out during the trial that her son was innocent. Then Cal Western stepped in.
Finally, to have somebody believe in my son, it was awesome.
Uriah went to prison when his son was 2. He's now 10. As for the 16-year-old who identified him in court,
it breaks my heart, for what she went through. And I don't hold any grudge against her.
He hopes that if she hasn't realized yet he wasn't the attacker, that one day she will. Bob Lawrence, 10 News.
Incredible. As for the man DNA evidence pointed to as being responsible, all the DA's office will say is the case is under investigation.